Legends aren't born, they're forged. They emerge from passion, perseverance, and the courage to challenge the impossible. Ken Block wasn't just a man behind the wheel. He was an artist, a trailblazer, and the heart of a global movement. He lived life in full throttle, a symbol of what it means to chase dreams with fearless determination. This is the story of how one man turned smoke, speed, and skill into a legacy that will never fade. Ken Block's journey began in Long Beach, California, a city that pulsed with the rhythm of skateboards, punk rock, and creativity. Growing up in the 1970s and 80s, Ken was drawn to the skateboarding scene not just for its thrill, but for its artistry. It was a world of individuality and innovation, and Ken fit right in. Skateboarding wasn't just a sport for Ken, it was a foundation. It taught him balance, flow, and how to channel chaos into something beautiful. But even then, Ken's imagination was bigger than a halfpipe. He dreamed of pushing limits, not just his own, but the limits of the world around him. In 1994, Ken co-founded DC Shoes, a brand that would redefine action sports. He wasn't just a businessman, he was an innovator. DC Shoes wasn't about selling sneakers, it was about creating a culture, a lifestyle that resonated with athletes and fans around the globe. But as much as Ken loved skateboarding, there was something else calling to him, a passion that had been simmering since childhood. He didn't just want to create culture, he wanted to feel the adrenaline to conquer the raw, unrelenting world of motorsport. Ken entered the rally scene in 2005, not as a seasoned driver, but as a fearless enthusiast with something to prove. Most drivers begin their careers in their teens or 20s, but Ken was almost 40 when he buckled into his first rally car. It didn't matter. Ken wasn't racing against time. He was racing against himself, against expectations, against what people said could or couldn't be done. Ken's journey in rallying wasn't without setbacks. He crashed, he learned, and he rebuilt. But every misstep made him sharper, hungrier, and more innovative. By 2005, he was named Rookie of the Year, proving that passion and perseverance could overcome any obstacle. But for Ken, rallying wasn't enough. He wanted to redefine how people experienced motorsport, not just from behind the wheel, but through their screens, in a way that was visceral, electrifying, and unforgettable. In 2008, Ken Block had an idea that would change motorsport forever. He took his skills from the rally tracks to the streets, turning empty lots and industrial zones into playgrounds of speed and precision. He called it Gymkhana. The first Gymkhana video exploded, drawing millions of views. Ken wasn't just showcasing driving, he was creating an art form. With every screech of the tires and every impossibly tight turn, he brought the world closer to the raw beauty of motorsport. Gymkhana became more than a series, it was a global phenomenon. Each video pushed the limits of what cars and drivers could do. From drifting through shipping containers to racing planes, Ken turned driving into a symphony of chaos and control. Ken wasn't just a driver, he was a creator. He worked with manufacturers to design cars that weren't just fast, but unforgettable. The Unicorn Mustang was more than a machine. It was a character in Ken's story, a symbol of his relentless pursuit of innovation. Through his cars, his videos, and his races, Ken inspired a new generation of drivers and creators. He proved that motorsport wasn't just for the elite. It was for anyone with a passion for speed and a vision for something extraordinary. On January 2, 2023, the world lost Ken Block in a tragic snowmobile accident. The news shocked millions. Fans, friends, and family mourned the man who had brought so much energy, joy, and inspiration into the world. Ken Block's legacy isn't measured in trophies or viral views. It's measured in the lives he touched, the imaginations he ignited, and the dreams he dared others to chase. He taught us that limits are just starting points, and that life is best lived with tire smoke in the rearview mirror. Ken Block's story is a reminder that life isn't about staying within the lines. It's about creating your own path. Thank you, Ken, for showing us that passion and creativity can change the world.